Bftb, best fight the best. Over the past couple of days, I've been like really harsh on Dillian Whyte. Um, Made a few videos about him. I made a few posts about him. But over the past, these past couple of days, I've been going in on him really bad. You know what I'm saying? I've been going on him really bad. And there was something that I wanted to say to him. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that I have been going in on him are a bit much. So Dillian Whyte, this is to you.
Man, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
What, you surprised? Nigga, fuck you. Your hat, body snatcher, you ain't no body snatcher. The BS stands for bullshit. And why are your lips ashy? The fuck is wrong with you? And why is your eyebrows arched? Nigga, did you get your... Bro, why the fuck are your eyebrows arched? So June 24th, an article in Boxing Scene came out saying that Dillian Whyte tested positive in his A sample for D-ball. Now, there was a lot of fucking confusion around this, but it really wasn't that much confusion. It was just these UK motherfuckers that were trying to find a reason, an excuse to give this pussy nigga Dillian Whyte an out. Bottom line, this dude was caught by UCAD for being on D-ball, which has never been legal at all. So even little amounts in your system is still, you're still guilty. Even little amounts. You don't just, I was just eating grapes and just pop down a D-ball pill by accident. No, because you eat D-ball. It's not injected in you. You eat it. It's a pill form. It's pill. All right, so you ate this, and it is a pill. You don't just crush it up and blend it with steaks. No, you ate D-ball. All right, I don't give a fuck how small it was in your system. You put it in there. Cheater. Now, anyways, they go on to say he put it in his system before the fight, blah, 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 yada, yada. The BBBC, or BBBOC, however you want to call it, was advised by UCAD prior to Dillian Whyte-Rivas that Whyte had tested positive for D-ball. However, it allowed the fight to proceed as scheduled without notifying Rivas's camp. That is a problem in itself. That's a problem. But I understand why they did it over there, because they're all kinds of fucked up. But Eddie Hearn comes out and says, I can confirm that both Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas were subject to extensive VADA and UCAD testing for their bout. Both fighters were cleared to fight by both bodies and the BBBOC. Now, I got an issue with that. He's talking strictly about the pre-fight testing. Now, is he lying when he says that both fighters were tested by VADA and UCAD? No, he's not lying. He's not lying. But that has nothing to do with the results, right? Nothing to do with the results. Now, in the pre-fight, both VADA and UCAD did test Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas. I was under the impression, and from a lot of the reports that came out, is that VADA farmed it out to UCAD, when in fact, VADA did their own testing, just not on the same day as UCAD. And the test that was adverse, the test that had the D-ball in it, was a test from a month prior to the fight. It was in June that test was adverse. And VADA didn't do any testing for Dillian Whyte during that time period. They didn't do the testing. They weren't doing it for him, which is clearly stated. But these people want to come out and say, oh, well, Dillian Whyte is clean. He's clean. They were cleared. No. Now VADA and UCAD may have tested him pre and post the fight itself, but that has nothing to do with the adverse testing that happened a month prior. Moving back to the June 24th article, in there it says, Whyte, also known as the body snatcher, is an unusual candid pugilist who famously quipped that the reason why former champion Anthony Joshua wasn't feeling himself in the ring the night he lost to Andy Ruiz, was because he was competing in the United States under stricter anti-doping testing procedures than that of the United Kingdom. So he was saying that, pretty much saying that Anthony Joshua was doping. So his words verbatim was, "It is because you're in America with the VADA testing and you're not on the juice. That's why. It's harder to get therapeutic use exemptions in America than in the United States." So for all these pussy ass niggas, all these bitch made UK fuckboys, these LTNK pussy niggas that come in here telling me, "Oh, you gotta watch what you say, you're gonna get sued." Well, tell me when Dillian Whyte got sued by Anthony Joshua for claiming that Anthony Joshua was on the juice. When you can tell me that, then I'll have something to worry about. Until then, eat a dick, and I'm gonna keep going in on this bitch ass nigga. So the article goes on to say, unlike the case of Jarrell Miller, who was pulled by the New York State Athletic Commission after his positive test, the British boxing authorities allowed the fight to move forward as planned despite the flag test results. Under the rules in place in the United Kingdom, Whyte has a right to appeal. UKAD takes the position that until the adjudication process is over and due process is complete, there has not been a finding that a fighter is in breach of his PED protocols, and no sanctions can be put in place by the BBBOC. Meaning, as far as the BBBOC and UKAD are concerned, until Whyte has exhausted his appeals process, the matter is still, as of yet, unresolved. Okay, I don't need to read all the rest of this shit. So pretty much, what this is saying is Jarrell Miller, right? Jarrell Miller test positive in April of this year. His fight with Pup Pup was in June. He tested positive 2 months prior to his fight with Pup Pup. So Dillian Whyte tested positive 1 month prior to his fight with Rivas. So if this fight would have been in the UK, Jarrell Miller, all he had to do was just say, I need to contest this. I need to contest it. Need to contest it. And he could still have his fight with Joshua if this fight would have been in the UK. Just say, "Oh, I need to contest it." Because Dillian Whyte contested it. And if you think that Jarrell Miller would have been dirty on the pre-fight test and the post-fight test, then you're a damn fool. Jarrell Miller, just like Dillian Whyte, was using what he needed to use months in advance, so that in the pre and post-fight test, he's clean because he already used what he needed to use. This is very simple, but you fucking UK fuckboys, you clowns, all you want to do is try to fucking justify this in some way, shape, or fashion. The bottom line is, Dillian Whyte was dirty. He popped dirty for D-ball. I don't give a fuck about what he popped later on after it's out of his system. Later on after it's out of his system, he's clean. You know, here, pre-fight clean and post-fight clean. Yeah, he's clean. But a month prior, he was dirty. So if that's the case, then Anthony Joshua should have fought Jarrell Miller. And then they could have seen that his A and B sample, no, his pre and post-fight samples would have been clean, you know, and there would have been no big deal. But anyways, let's go ahead and address this elephant in the room that don't nobody want to talk about, because everybody wants to stick about these. They want to stick on with this drug testing, right? They want to stick with D-ball, which was big in itself, but don't nobody want to talk about the motherfucking gloves. All right, so let's get into that. Now, I know they don't want to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it anyway. We definitely going to get into it anyway. So, Russ Amber from Team Rivas filed a petition before the fight. They filed a petition how they were being done when it came to the damn gloves. So they went to a meeting on July 19th, the day before the fight. They went to a meeting about the gloves and the rules. Dillian Whyte's team brought 2 pairs of gloves. Both their gloves were inspected. Oscar Rivas went to bring a second pair of gloves, And they said no. Their reasoning was because the gloves were not brought into the room by Yvonne Michelle, the promoter, who happened to be in the room already. So there was no reason why those gloves couldn't have been used, but luckily for them, they didn't need them anyway. Now, the problem came in on fight night. The problem came in then. So they were informed, Team Rivas was informed by Team White that they're not using neither pair of gloves that were inspected the day prior. Neither one. They're using a third pair of gloves. So they're not going to use neither one. So what they said was not the number 1 pair that they selected and not the number 2 pair either, but another brand of gloves that weren't even on the table at the glove selection. Bro, so you're just pretty much going to pick whatever you want and you're going to wear whatever you want. So it really doesn't matter. He goes on to say, to make matters worse, not only was Dillian allowed to wear these new gloves, but he was already gloved up and we weren't even allowed to inspect them. Bear in mind, his camp inspected our gloves. They knew what we were wearing. In contrast, we had no idea what they were using because they were allowed to pick whatever glove they wanted, tape it up, and put it on. Even after we reluctantly agreed to let them make the change, we still weren't allowed to see the gloves. He goes on to say, if it was a late change for some reason that was needed on the night, why not allow us the courtesy of inspecting the gloves as you do at a glove selection meeting? Well, more than likely because the knuckles were cut out so that, it could be either the gloves were loaded or the knuckles were cut out, one of the two. So that way, Dillian can get some good pop on his punches, some good pop. But it's funny how all these weirdos don't want to talk about none of this. They just want to talk about the D-ball that he was mysteriously cleared for, which he wasn't. So let me get something straight. Let's get this straight and cleared up. June 17th, Dillian Whyte failed a UCAD drug test for D-ball. UCAD never informed WBC or VADA, but they informed the BBB-OC. July 17th, a full month later, Dillian Whyte passed his pre-fight drug test with VADA, who didn't know anything about the June 17th test, and he passed a pre-fight with UCAD, who did know about the June 17th test. July 19th, they had the meeting, the pre-fight meeting. 2 sets of gloves for Dillian Whyte were approved. The same day, Rivas' second set was not approved. The fight night, the July 27th fight day, BBOC and Team White had a hearing about the failed drug tests and allowed them to continue anyway. Team Rivas, VADA, and WBC were not informed of this hearing. The same day, Dillian Whyte wore a third set of unapproved gloves to the fight. He refused to allow Team Rivas to inspect them and didn't remove them after the fight was over with, until he was back in the dressing room. July 21st, the post-fight test, was okay for Dillian Whyte and Rivas. July 24th, the failed drug test by UCAD was leaked, and Dillian Whyte still has not said he's innocent. He came up with a bullshit ass, fake ass, whack prepared statement from the lawyers, even though Eddie Hearn said previously if you're not guilty, just come out and say it. Don't give me this, let the truth come out nonsense. Or do you need to hear him say it?
I think never say never, but right now I think he should be banned from the sport for life. But there needs to be, like, he has to come out, in my opinion, and tell the story of what happened. Like, he's saying, oh, I didn't know this, like, what? So what? You were just putting things in you, like inject EPO, human growth hormone, without knowing what they were. Like, but at least tell the story. You can't say, oh, you know, the truth will come out. Tell the truth then. Tell the truth. I'd respect him more if he come out and say, yeah, you know what? I thought to myself, I need to win this fight, and I got talked into by my training team or these people, my conditioners, that I should be taking this stuff, and I made a mistake. I'd rather that than, like, the statement's nothing. What he said, it doesn't really say anything other than hold my hands up. What? So sorry. Yeah. Because look at Jarrell Miller, right? As an example. No one will ban him. No one will. They can stop his. They don't have to license him in a commission, but effectively he will find a place to box.
But I'm glad you want to discipline Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
I don't want to just listen. That incident is over, right? As far as I'm concerned.
But that's the example you're using.
I can't discipline him. I'm a
no,
promoter.
but the fact that you want to discipline him,
I believe he should. If any
makes
fighter
makes us agreement about Dillian Whyte.
If any fighter is confirmed and basically found guilty of intentionally using and doping on a substance, they should be banned from the sport.
D-ball was intentional. We know that.
Well, you don't know anything about the case at all. You're following a case from Thomas Housen. Let the truth come out. Okay. Let him have his say. At the moment, he's just presumed guilty, right? His case is his case. He will deal with his case. Nothing to do with me. I'll do the show.
Dillian Whyte, you are a cheater. You were caught. You're being protected by the BBBOC. You're being protected by Eddie Hearn. You're being protected by these punk-ass fans. You are a cheater. But I hope you get an opportunity to fight Deontay Wilder, because there is a spot dusted off on the wall with your name on it. Bftb. Shout out to the LDBC. And I'm out.